The Match Ball.
Hello there and welcome to the Match Ball. Leeds 3, Middlesbrough 2. Dan, Michael, Moscow here to celebrate another 3 points for Leeds United. The mighty, mighty Whites, unbeaten in the all-white kit. In a show brought to you by Levi Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. What do you make of that then, gentlemen? I felt like it was for a neutral, probably a very entertaining game. Being immersed in it inside Ellen Road, not so comfortable, but it was a very good game nonetheless, wasn't it? End-to-end stuff.
I did enjoy it. Certainly the first half was hugely entertaining. Second half, I was stressed. I was mainly just stressed by it.
What stressed you out?
Not being more comfortably in the lead, because it felt like we had the ability to be, but we just kept not scoring. And then there was that bit where I still don't really know what happened, but they seemed to break and it hit someone on the line and the bar and the keeper, and
it's exciting though, wasn't it?
It was exciting.
It was thrilling.
I knew I was alive.
I was just going to say those are the exact words I said to Tom, who's the guy who just sits across the aisle to me. I went, Tom, don't you know you're alive? When that just happened, and he just rolled his eyes at me.
Yeah, it was very stressful. And I felt like the goals we did concede, we gave them a bit easily. Did we?
Yeah, everybody, the corners that they scored were just before half-time, wasn't it? Everybody looked very disappointed with each other. So I don't know who was necessarily to blame. I think the guy who headed it in had jumped in front of Sam Byram, and then I think that obviously Melio wasn't expecting that, and they were kind of looking at each other, and other people were kind of looking despairing. So all just a bit of a mess. And yeah,
Melio should have saved the opener as well, shouldn't he?
Probably, but then all sorts seems to be going on with that. It seems like we can't get out of the habit at the moment of conceding straight after the game starts and just before half-time. These are our two...
We should talk about that opening, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty wild, wasn't it? Like, not again!
Yeah, I mean, it took a while to get going, this one, didn't it, really? 3 minutes. I think it was it in the first minute the other night?
It was. We scored after 30 seconds and then it was offside. They scored before the first minute was up.
I was yawning through that opening 2 minutes. Pathetic.
Boring. I need a hit. I need a fix.
But then the big giant wingers we have.
Yeah.
Towering headers.
We should just, at the start of this show, say hi to our TSB Plus members. Thank you for joining us on the stream. Priority access to the Match Ball if you're a TSB Plus member. Thank you. I do have a Ramon style Yorkshire t-shirt on, which has been picked up by Brian, which is available at the squareball.net. I should say that if you want to get some stuff. I am wearing a thermal base layer under it, but I made the mistake on Wednesday of coming in with too many layers on and realising about 20 minutes into a half-an-hour broadcast that I was absolutely boiling.
Whereas I spent a whole day in a t-shirt. No, I haven't.
There was a man, actually, when I was walking down Ellen Road back here to the studio afterwards, there was a man in shorts, which I thought was a brave move.
Unnecessary, I would say. On a day like that.
Anyway, back to the game, to the opening. A game that was, it was entertaining, wasn't it? I think I've had a nice time. Now we've won, I've had a nice time. Much better than the shite we had to watch in the Premier League. Wasn't it? I know imagine we had a Premier League referee today in Darren England, didn't we? What do you think of him?
It's weird that he's given us a penalty and sent one of their players off, and I still think he was awful. It was the fact that he refused to book their left back at all was really upsetting me, because he was one of them, and then there was another one in the first half where people just pulled us back when we were breaking, and he refused to book them for it. And then the first time we did it, it was the yellow card. That upset me.
Yeah, he did an incredible job of making what was otherwise a very exciting game revolve around him for quite a lot of it, which I objected to. And Jorginho Rutter's yellow card was probably a good indication, because Rutter got fouled and he stood up and turned around as if he was like looking for the person who'd done it, but he wasn't going to do anything. He was just obviously like, I'm really annoyed that I just got kicked. Who was that? And then was probably going to say, oh, don't do that. But the referee was all like, hey guys, don't start any fights. He was like running over to him to stop him from punching anybody, and obviously he wasn't going to. And then 2 minutes later, Rutter committed a foul, and the referee was like, too much aggression from you, young man. And a yellow card came out, and I think it was all just... I mean, Darren England's just rubbish, isn't he? He's just a bad referee, any level.
Just assessing that he is from Barnsley, but he's a scum... Is he scum bastard, are we saying?
Apparently he is, yeah.
Right, yeah.
This has been confirmed by people who know him.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not very good at the old refereeing.
Let's assume it's true.
A despicable man. At least have the decency to support Barnsley if you're from there.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, now we're past the finish line. I did enjoy that. I also enjoyed as well aspects of like the game management that we indulged in after they got sent off, because I was a little bit, this could go either way still when it was 11 versus 11. But after the red card, I noticed that we were just sort of stroking the ball around quite a lot.
My favourite bit of game management was in the 94th minute where we had a goal kick and Rodon marched over to Melia and went, in the corner, do not pass it to me, you fucking idiot, bang it into that corner. And then he actually put it into the middle, which wasn't great. But I did enjoy it. He got really cross a few times in Rodon. There's one point I thought he'd pulled his hamstring, but he was just jumping up and down, yelling at people because he was running up the pitch, and he kind of caught my eye because he was doing this gallop, and in that way that when someone pulls up when they've felt the hamstring go and they've been sprinting, I thought he'd done that, but he was just really, really cross with someone.
Was it Sergio Ramos who just got sent off for doing that?
I don't know.
I think there's definitely a player. There's a clip that was doing the rounds somewhere on the socials. Yeah, somebody, because it's one of those things where you pretend you've injured yourself when you're running along as part of a celebration. But I don't know if he did it on the actual pitch. But he was already on a yellow and got sent off for it. Either way, he's a prick, isn't he, Sergio Ramos? So, but anyway, that's nothing to do with Leeds United, is it? Where do you want to go with this one then? Early start, that was exciting. Mentioned that.
We didn't really go into it in any great detail.
Well, should we talk about the goals then?
Yes.
I've forgotten the order of the goals because it's just caught me on the hop again. All very thrilling.
It was Dan James with a towering header, and then it was Crescencio Somerville
with a towering header.
With a towering header, both from, I think the crucial thing, we've discovered the key to getting the best out of our big forwards' aerial prowess is a deflected cross. That's what does it. Both crosses were deflected, and Middlesbrough's defenders were pathetic. That's what helps. And then, so a couple of headers, and that sorted out conceding so badly so early. And that's good. I think we should be in the lead more.
I mean, even the goal, like 3-4 minutes in, whenever it was when we scored, even in the build-up to that, we should have scored twice, shouldn't we? Because there was... am I right in thinking this started with Dan James running through? He chipped it over the keeper, it got cleared. Then Rutter got it and had a shot that was saved. Then it ended up getting crossed in and we did score.
Yeah.
And it's just like chance after chance within 20 seconds, 10 seconds.
We could have bagged the load, couldn't we, again today? Yeah.
It was quite a weird little attempt to score that from Dan James, where it was it was a good chip over the goalkeeper, but also he probably would have scored if he just wellied it. So that gave, but then it made it more interesting. Maybe he did had a bet. I want to score with a header, and so that is what I'm going to do. And yeah, it was good play from Byram, who got the ball, recycled it like a one ball, to refer back to something we were talking about earlier in the week, and got down the outside of them, and the cross deflected off whoever was marking him. Borough probably would have stayed 1-0 up if they hadn't tried to stop that cross, and then the cross for Crescencio's as well, because they were both went from being whatever the ball was going to do on its desired trajectory to looping, and then they couldn't deal with the looping, which is the disease that kills rabbits.
And also a professor in the Harry Potter films.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some of the comments dripping through actually from the post-match. Michael Carrick's up first, saying, "Where'd you start, really? Disappointed is my overriding feeling with the result. They've got top individuals in this league. You feel like we gave as good as we got." Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, they were good. They looked dangerous.
Yeah.
They really did look dangerous every time they went forward. Yeah. I was reminded at half-time thinking about that mad 4-6 Preston defeat, and I was thinking it could still turn into that because it's so incredibly open.
That's exactly what I messaged Phil. I actually messaged him on 10 minutes, knowing I wouldn't get one on 20 minutes. I just messaged him saying 10-minute text, subverting the genre and all that, and just said...
Which Phil ignored anyway, so...
He didn't. He actually replied to me. Did he? Okay. And he's just messaged me now at full time. Unsolicited for once. I've got a new friend in the media. Anyway, and just said to him, this could end up 6-5, this.
It did feel like it was just out of control. But we were playing in similar-ish kind of styles in a way, weren't we? We both were playing out from the back and doing some really risky stuff. I actually thought we, at some point, would score from them doing that because they didn't seem 100% sure about it. And then what did help, actually, is McNair went off injured, didn't he? And they had to bring that bald fraud on. And sure enough, within a minute, 2 minutes, he'd managed to give away a penalty and get booked. So that was good.
Just to round off that comment, I didn't actually say the last sentence of what Carrick said in this particular, to Phil's tweet. We feel like we've let one slip. Which you can understand from their perspective, because they offered, I think that's the most threat I think we've faced probably from a side all season, give or take. There's maybe some other ones up there, but they did look dangerous on the break. But then so did we, and I think them being so passy and expansive and trying to attack us left a lot of gaps for us to play in as well.
Yeah, I think it's twice in a week. Swansea were trying to play out from the back as well, and there's probably a lesson there where you really need your defenders to be really good at it. And I don't think either Swansea or Middlesbrough are quite. It made me think, we were joking earlier in the season about Neil Warnock ending up going into Borough and saying, oh, Carrick's, after he's tried to get them playing like champions, you can't do that at this level. Not with these players, we're just going to tell them to bang it forward. And I was thinking, watching them kind of struggling with the passing at the back sometimes, maybe our imagined Warnock was right, that they would be happy. Oh, boss, can we not just belt it down the field? Whereas Meslier seems to have perfected the art of giving us heart attacks, but actually then playing really good passes.
There was one in particular where he passed it across the goal line more or less, and the Middlesbrough player's toe was about an inch from it.
Yep.
Wasn't a big fan of that one.
There was an interesting move from their number 25 as well.
He was a big lad, wasn't he?
Yeah, he tried early in the match. He tried off the ball, just running into Pascal Struijk and trying to push him over, which was an interesting move. And then he was starting to, he was doing a bit of kind of kicking the ball away at free kicks and stuff. So I was watching him, and he tried to intercept one of Mellier's square passes by throwing himself at Mellier's feet head first, which was pretty good. And I was quite impressed that was his idea of dealing with that. But yeah, they were making some problems for themselves at the back. But then, going forward, their number 11 seemed to be making Sam Byram quite upset. I couldn't work out if Byram was having a bad game or he'd been given bad instructions, because that number 11 just kept getting the ball in like the kind of level of space that Rasmus Christensen used to give to wingers. And Byram was usually getting over there and sorting out, but was also beaten probably more times than I've seen him be beaten this season by a winger who I didn't actually think looked that good. He just seemed to have Byram a little bit sorted out, and then Sam wasn't there for would need to see the replay on the goal as to whether it was his man on the header from the corner that they scored, and what else. See if there's anything else we can blame Sam Byram for, because he's old enough, he'll take it, he won't mind. But yeah, I thought he was a little bit under par at times, maybe. But I
thought he was really good at points.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. I thought everybody was, but there were certain moments where you kind of just it was sucking your air in through your teeth, thinking we look a little bit. Just getting pulled out of shape at times. But then, like I said to you there, Moscow, before, I think them being so attacking and pushing their wingers so high onto our fullbacks then gave us lots of space to play in as well. And it had that.
I thought both.
The cliche is basketball match, isn't it?
I thought both fullbacks were excellent going forward. But yeah, defensively it was a bit stretched at times. I think we're asking him to get forward so much as well. If you're constantly having to leg it back, it does make it difficult. Yeah,
you're going to get caught out of position. It's the risk versus reward. So.
We should probably talk about Archie on the other side as well, because he's just so good.
Yeah.
He's not even in his right position, but there were bits in that.
Although we're not marginally a bit worried about him early doors. Because both fullbacks were getting exposed a little bit.
But having watched Rasmus Christensen for a season, seeing a right back with that amount of composure, he's just a treat. Just being able to see him and go, all right, he's going to do the right thing here. There was a bit about 15 minutes in. It's not even much of a thing really, but he just had it over on the right, and he was boxed in a little bit. The players around him, and Ampadu went and sort of moved behind him up the line, saying, "Give it to me here," which he could really easily have done, but he went, "No, I'm going to turn and I'm going to run," and it was just like didn't do the easy thing, but did the right thing.
He got caught out once doing it, didn't he? I think caught in possession, but again, to have the confidence to do that, can't fault it at all.
Yeah, there's so many good bits of it. There's bits where he's taking it past people. He hit a really nice crossfield ball after one of them.
There was a spell about half an hour in where he had 3 golden minutes. Just kept doing good thing after good thing after good thing. And the first thing he did was kind of shows his intelligence as well, where there was an opportunity to the ball was just roll. He was facing Meslier, and he just gave a little swivel of the hips, turned, played the ball down the line, and suddenly we were on the attack when there had been absolutely no sign of anything particularly developing. It sent all the Middlesbrough players scampering backwards, and he had seen the game from the back of his head. Just knew what to do in that situation that would change the whole kind of balance of what the moment was, and he's 17. It's ridiculous.
You're right about his golden minutes. If you want to watch it back on the full game, start at 27 because my notes are in a row. Superb turn from Archie, then 29. Amazing Archie again in the northeast corner. Then below that just says Archie Gray's taking the piss, which I think was the turn and run out of defence.
Yeah, he's just great. He's just fun. There's so much fun in this side, and that's what I didn't like about Darren England's performance today. When he booked Jorginho Ruta, it's because he's against fun.
Mm-hmm.
He hates fun.
He did give us a penalty though. That was fun.
Yeah, but
we scored it. We saw us score a penalty.
I'm talking about the bits that I don't agree with Moscow.
Okay,
and they're the important ones when it comes to referees, not the good stuff that they do for us. There was actually just in terms of the shape of the balance of the game. There was a point at which I don't know if you caught this one. I think it was in the first half. Yeah, we were attacking the Cop end, and Crescencio Somerville had 5 Borough players around him at one point, and I thought we're going to win this because they're leaving so many patches of space around other parts of the pitch, and if we can work it out of these little tight areas, then we're going to have overloads and free men and stuff like that. I think actually I don't know if that was the chance we scored from or if it was just after that, but I thought I was right. And it's important to be right.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. That's why I've been so pleased over the years when I keep saying we're shit and we are. Been absolutely secretly delighted to be watching dreadful football. Somerville's great again, though. I thought he's just impossible for most teams to handle in this league, and Rutte is sometimes. He had a strange game. I thought
his finishing's abysmal, isn't it? But it's just such a joy to watch. Everything up to the finish is great.
He had one that he hit far too hard, and then a couple that he really scuffed when he had decent chances. But
was the one that was far too hard the one that went into the cheese wedge?
Yes, that one. It was very, very wild.
Oh, that's wayward.
I think he just got bored because that was when they'd gone down to 10 and we were basically penned them in. There was some golden moments where everybody except Meslier is in Middlesbrough's defensive third. It's a good place for us all to be, but we weren't. And we were actually making a few sort of half chances, but nothing clean because everybody was back. And that lasted for a good 3 or 4 minutes. And you think this is great. And then, Rutte, I think, just had enough of it. Like, we're not getting anywhere like this. So I'm going to try and hit, see if I can get this on Beeston Hill. He gave it a good go.
Yeah, exactly. It was aiming for the football pitch up the hill, not the one at Ellen Road. Just to tie off the thought about Phil not texting me, just want to draw your attention to this, that we last exchanged messages at 5 to 4, so that would be during half time. I think it was a string of messages from me that were in green saying, please reply, come on, don't keep ignoring me, this isn't fair. And then at 5:30 unsolicited, Phil replied, good win that one, they're pretty handy. So you can look forward to that. There's an exclusive for you. That's what will be in his match report on The Athletic. They're handy.
They're handy. They were good, I thought. So.
Well, we should talk about the penalty because we scored a penalty, and penalties are nice when they go in.
When did we last score one? I was trying to think of this.
When Patrick Bamford didn't take it, probably.
Was it Rodrigo last scored one?
Do you know what? I'll bloody tell you because I know that the fantastic LUFC data has this on the website. So, Piru, at no point did I think he's going to miss this, whereas if Pat had picked that up, I'd have shit my pants.
There were chance for Pat Bamford in the Cop when the penalty was given, which was a little bit unfair.
Right.
But I think it was a penalty. Did you have a little telly?
No, I've not seen it back either, but it didn't seem to create much argument. And and there's always kind of because it's the player who'd just come on, who is called
Clark.
Yeah, is he ex-Bristol or something? He feels like he's one of those guys he's like a very, you could say the same about Paddy McNair. It's like very championship-y kind of guy to be coming on. For him to just go like straight through whoever it was it Rutte?
Yes.
Did he go straight through him, or was it like a little crappy trip?
I just mean for him to foul him straight away. Feels like, he probably did. On the balance of like things I'm making up in my mind, I feel like that's how I'm imagining this is how it probably would have happened. And then
things I think I saw.
Joel Piru, good penalty.
He took it well,
just smash it into the corner too hard for the goalkeeper to save, and that did a really good job of scoring.
Yeah, so penalties. To answer your question, the last penalty we scored was Rodrigo scoring against Bournemouth at home, which was the 5th of November last year, so more than a year since we scored a penalty.
And I've got to wonder if the last penalty scored by, I'm now trying to think about the Maritimo shootouts in 1997, if the last penalty scored by a bleach blonde player was Lee Sharp in that shootout, perhaps? If there's a little glimmer of next time Pat is on the pitch,
That's Johnny Cooper's domain.
yeah, he
I
can
don't think
probably
Oxford
work that out.
have hair stats.
No, but Johnny Cooper does.
He has hair stats.
He'll go rogue.
Okay.
He'll go rogue. He'll operate outside the Opta umbrella. Do what he wants to do. Spit out some facts. Should we talk about the hair? Because the hair was a talking point. It has been asked. People are asking in the comments who is the likeliest of the three of us to do the Pat Bamford. I feel Michael's probably an outsider at this point.
Yeah.
I did dye my own hair. I say blonde. It was more like kind of orangey, dirty, horrible mess.
You used
when,
to have,
when I was 19.
You used to have tips done as well, like a sort of proper 2000s DJ would.
Yeah. So what?
No, it's a good, strong look.
What were you doing with yours in the 2000s?
I had it about grade 3, and then I shaved it all off completely.
Yeah.
I've always been a very basic haircut man from about 15 onwards.
What's the most expensive haircut you've paid for?
Do you know what, this is how little experience I have. I don't think I ever paid for my own hair because I think I was a child and my mum paid for it, and then I think
your mum did it,
and then I think I started cutting it myself when I was like 15.
You did it in your childhood photos. You got a fairly sensational bowl cut.
Yeah,
that looks like Mama Normanton.
That was a professional did that to me.
could you do this, please? Take the photo from. Was it Dumb and Dumber?
I don't think it was hugely expensive.
But to answer your question, it's Moscow is the most likely because he has the one who most physically closely resembles Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, it's true.
What possible
Well,
sense?
you're sort of taller.
We're both big, tough, rugged fellas.
You're
Me and
tall and wiry.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
that's
confusing
true.
when he was coming on, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a general sort of bubbling
Who's this?
sentiment of who's that blonde lad? It's like it's Pat Bamford.
Yeah, it was like, is that Helder? Is it Joseph? It can't be Pat Bamford.
Yeah, because Joseph has been played with him. I don't look like Joseph. He's taller than Joseph. Yeah, strange. But yeah,
He
maybe
nearly scored, actually, didn't he, Bamford?
He did.
Did he? He looked like he got a header from a corner. That he was at the far
Yes,
end.
he did.
He was at the
Yeah.
far end to me, so I couldn't
In
see it
fact,
properly.
it was really, really good. It was great movement to the front. He was offside when Gnonto was about to take it, and as Gnonto ran up to take it, he makes a really good run to the front post, but away from it, running away from the 6-yard box, perfectly to where Gnonto was putting the cross, and it's a good header on target at the front post that gets saved. And then I'm not sure who had the rebound, but somebody hit it straight at the keeper. There was another chance there. So yeah, Pat was good. He didn't get much. I watched him a little bit because I was just trying to work out what the hell he'd done to his hair. And yeah, he was doing a lot of, because after they'd gone down to 10 and we were dominating so much trying to score, but then the biggest opportunity probably of the last few minutes was when Glenn Kamara dummied and Middlesbrough then hit the post and it was cleared off the line, and all that chaos happened because our old Glenda did a dummy in their penalty area and it didn't work. And then after that, I think there was a message I noticed. Farker pulled Archie Gray over and was kind of pointing it in a kind of just stay back kind of way. So almost there was an element of bringing Pat Bamford on with less expectation that we would be trying to score. And so he spent most of his time on the pitch kind of trying to run off the shoulder of the defenders while Roden or Straug or Ampadu just squared it to each other, and he just then had to do it again and do it again, do it again. So
I enjoyed Roden today, talking of him. And talking of Archie, got involved in some fisticuffs.
Well, a bit of shoving.
Well, that other bloke should be done for assault on a minor.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, he should have been booked because he did pull back Dan James in a really blatant way, but I think the ref was just like, oh, it's too early, I'm not booking anyone yet. But yeah, he was Archie Gray was so good today.
He's fantastic, isn't he? He's a great player.
I don't even know if he's worthy of man of the match, but he did so many bits that I enjoyed, and the whole time just going, God, he's young, and look what he's doing.
I'm taking so many joyful moments out of this season. I am genuinely trying to enjoy it on its own merits. I was chatting to a bloke who sits near me saying this, because my dad bailed out on an incredible 55 minutes today. He goes early for most games. 55 minutes. Spent 2 hours driving over from Bridlington to come and watch the game and left on 55 minutes. Except he went downstairs and bumped into one of his mates, and he was still talking to him 10 minutes from full time. So just chatting to his mate downstairs.
I can't get my head around leaving at 55 minutes.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Maybe at like 5-0 down. Yeah. You could. Speaking of which, Hecky, is he still weird job at the minute?
Blame them on the red card, surely, no?
Well, shouldn't get a place sent off, should you?
No.
I've not looked at the other scores today. I know Ipswich and Leicester both won, and Leicester in
Southampton
slightly
won.
frustrating fashion. with a last-minute goal.
We've got the Euro 2024 draws have been made for the group stage.
Oh, there you go.
Nothing to do with Leeds, but we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, the scores were kind of all as you'd expect today, weren't they? Apart from Sheffield Wednesday winning. But yeah.
Who did they beat?
Blackburn.
Yeah.
The chumps.
Hot streak.
But yeah, around there was just everyone won. It's really started to take shape now, the league, hasn't it? It feels like there's a clear top 4. I mean, West Brom's still up there, aren't they? But it feels like the top 4 now will probably be the top 4.
Yeah.
Come the end of the season.
What's the gap now? Is it 6 points or something?
5. Southampton are 5 clear of West Brom in 5th. But it's split off now a bit.
The draw for the Euros, I'll quickly run that through that because we've mentioned it. Germany, Hungary, Scotland, Switzerland. So Liam Cooper could be in that. Spain, Albania, Croatia, Italy. We've got England, Denmark, Slovenia, Serbia.
Well, that's an easy group.
France, Austria, Netherlands, and then one of the playoff winners, which will be Poland, Estonia, Wales, or Finland. And then Belgium, Romania, Slovakia, another playoff winner, which will be Israel, Iceland, Bosnia, Herzegovina, or Ukraine, against Portugal, Turkey, Czech Republic, and another playoff winner, which will be Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece, or Kazakhstan. So there you go.
There you go.
But we've got to get promoted before that, haven't we? We need to give a mention to Johnny Brown's lad, Alfie, as well, who he's now gone to 28 games live in person, and we are undefeated.
That is good going.
You know, you always wondered, don't you, if you're the curse or the lucky talisman or whatever, and we found it in Alfie. Must protect that boy at all costs,
I think like the first
Archie.
3 games I went to, we didn't lose, and I was like, I'm never going to lose then. Just did.
But then again, you know, just to bring it back to this season and the current and the here and now, it does feel a bit like that this season, doesn't it? We go into every game now thinking, we're probably going to win this.
Well, we've got lots of players who are as good as anyone in this division, which we certainly didn't have in the Premier League. You looked at our starting lineup and their starting lineup last year, and you were like, oh, okay, I'd probably take somewhere between 8 and 11 of their players in our team.
It's funny that we've given teams goal starts twice in a week as well, and then come back and won anyway. Which I don't see. Leicester went ahead first, and then it was an equaliser, and then they won it after that, didn't they? So they're not doing that. We should get more points because we've given. Who did we play on? Swansea, and today was
No idea.
Middlesbrough. We've given Swansea and Middlesbrough like better chances to win. Although did Borough beat Leicester? Anywho, we're giving them chances that other teams are not. So in the spirit of fairness, we should have more points, or maybe some I don't know, tickets to Flamingo Land or something.
Interesting to read Farke's comments from the post-match. Suggested that his players might have got a little bit overexcited at times, meaning that they allowed Borough too many chances. He said he was both happy and angry at half-time, but very pleased with how his side managed the second half.
I can see that would be the case.
Yeah.
I'm sure the way we were still bombing forward with minutes to go till half-time, it does make you think, just keep it calm.
Yeah.
Getting there 3-1 up. It's a good half.
It's the one thing that people always wished for when Bielsa's football was here, wasn't it? Like sometimes just be sensible, put your foot on it and control the game.
But I mean,
but that was thrilling in its own right as well.
I was going to say, but to contrast that, it's so much better than last year, isn't it?
God, yeah. I'm having a really nice time just enjoying seeing how the season unfolds. As the jeopardy increases as it goes on, it's going to probably gnaw away at my soul, which it always does. But I'm trying to been listening to Moscow over the last 2 seasons. He's encouraged us to enjoy the football more, and I genuinely am.
Are you enjoying it, Moscow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
If we won 3-2 every week,
but I mean, the implication there is that I was also enjoying Jesse Marsh's season, which was more of kind of not letting it grind me down. So it's a slight different thing. But yeah, even I'm kind of, I'm not serious that we should get more points for giving teams a goal advantage, but it does say a lot that is not affecting my feeling about whether we're going to win or not. It's just the daft thing that we keep doing at the start of games and singing. And Rotherham was kind of annoying, and we're probably more annoying since we've ticked off 2 more wins since. What was my point about that? But it's not kind of out of keeping. It's funny. We're probably having a better time than Leicester because their fans seem dead miserable, even though they're waltzing away at the top of the table. They don't like the football that they're playing. They're not scoring as freely as we are. They're not creating chances. I spent a little bit of time after the Swansea game looking at XG just to see what was happening with Leicester and how their possession is high, but their XG is small. So that tells me, without even having to watch a single minute of them play, that their passing the ball around a lot but not having many chances. And that sort of tallies in with what the Leicester fans are saying, that they're all a bit bored by what's happening. Whereas I don't think there is a single Leeds fan who is bored by the football that we're playing. And we're consistently getting, I can't remember what our XG is, but it's always like over 1.
3.35 today.
Yeah. And we scored, so we underperformed. But we're always creating a lot of, XG or not, was creating a lot of chances in every single game. So we're using the possession that we have. There are bits, I go both ways with Farke's football, because there are spells, particularly after we took the lead at Rotherham, where we didn't have a shot for 20 minutes and we just had the ball, where I was like, we are a bit too patient at times. But then also, we do have those players who will just go absolutely crazy with it, and it's a lot more fun than the alternatives.
Well, Farke has mentioned in his post-match, he's addressed the style of football. Just followed up on the pleased and angry at half-time comments. I could see why sometimes we were driven by our emotion. We played with too many transition moments, but it's also a side of my team that I love, rather than playing like football with sleeping pills.
It's a nice way to describe it.
Yeah.
That's something else that, no, I won't say. I was thinking about him on the sofa. As like, normally he's coffee and maybe he's going to like switch to sleeping pills or something. But
what is cake?
Yeah, just use something like natural herbal. Now it sounds like he's going to be smoking things. Anyway, whatever Daniel Farke does
whatever
on his
point
sofa,
it is that you're making.
Yeah, his sofa, his business, his life, and he's all right, isn't he? Quite like Daniel Farke.
Yeah, he's great.
And we're winning all these games of football, and him coming out and talking about coffee and pills and cake and sofas
and hash
and unbelievable hardness.
Mugs back in stock. I think the nice thing with this year is we're not ever getting stuck in a rut either. We've had some bad results, or like Rotherham, not necessarily bad, but a bit disappointing. But every time it feels like we're following up by just winning some games. Like lost at Southampton, won a few. Lost at Stoke, won a few. Drew at Rotherham, won 2. Yeah, 2 since then. If we can just keep doing that, it's more than enough.
The home record is also ridiculous. It hadn't really sunk in again until I was sort of taking stock of things this week. That's now, so we drew the first 3 and then we've won 7 in a row. What is going on?
It's good though, isn't it?
It just feels so
good.
Long since we've had that 2 seasons of feeling like we're just going to get beaten all the time. Well, it was a season and a half, because I guess the start of Bielsa's last one, we were all just like, that scum result's just a blip. And that's just a blip. So there was still the optimism that it would come good before the true depression set in. But yeah, and to get to that, I suppose those first 3 games, the Sheffield Wednesday one in particular, when it was 0-0, and we had that feeling of, oh, we've squandered something there, and are these players ever going to score? And there's stuff like that as well with, I was thinking about it with Meslier and how much better him and Strauch and Roden and Ampadu and everyone were at playing out from the back than Swansea Middlesbrough looked, is that practice, Meslier is sped up, I think. There was the frustration at the start of the season where he's spending ages with his foot on the ball looking for a pass, whereas now he's more used to what the players are going to do and what Farke wants him to do. So it's going faster because everybody's just more used to it. So the practice is setting in. And it's the same the other way. I was thinking the Sheffield Wednesday game when there was all that glumness, and it was like, it just looked like 4 players, Somerville, Rousseau and everybody else, who'd not really played much football, not played together very often, not knowing what anybody else is going to do, and so not knowing what to do. Whereas now we're starting to get into the swing of things where they are more used to anticipating each other's movements and runs and ideas, and it's working. And so those first 3 home draws were much better than getting beaten 4-0 by Tottenham Hotspur with Sam Allardyce chewing gum on the sidelines. And then since then, just win. And I think we're going to win every game at home for the rest of the season.
We have won 9 games.
And then all the away ones.
I've just totted it up. We've won 9 out of 12 games. 9 out of the last 12, which ain't half bad.
We've hit 2 points per game.
Yes.
As of today as well, haven't we? 38 from 19.
Give us the trophy now.
Interesting test then coming up at Blackburn. We will be in the fruit salad kit. So can we finally exercise the ghost of the non-white kits?
I mean, they've lost to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah. And then
I think we should be allowed to go back and replay that Sheffield Wednesday game.
And then it's
and the Birmingham one as well. We weren't ready.
Yeah, it's true. And Cardiff as well on the opening day. That wasn't fair.
And this is the point. We're giving teams a goal start And yet nobody will go back and say, well, you didn't really have your squad together at that point, did you? And it was Birmingham where Wilf wouldn't get on the bus and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we definitely weren't ready, whereas we're still not ready for the first 5 minutes of a game. So I think the Football League needs to take that into consideration and maybe give us better referees. That would be something they could do for us. That would be nice.
So we've got 2 games coming up in non-white kits next. So the Blackburn game will be in the 3rd, and then the Sunderland game presumably in blue. So it's time to put that one to bed, isn't it? And
Sunderland feel like they've hit a bit of a blip, haven't they? In recent weeks, I know they were doing quite well. They've drawn at Millwall today, but they've lost to Huddersfield and Plymouth the 2 games before.
It just goes to show, though, doesn't it? It reinforces the idea that you just need to keep winning, and you understand why when Farker rolls the dice and sticks on like 5 attackers or whatever, that you might as well, because wins will get you promoted in this division.
They're all worthwhile attackers as well. It's not like we're chucking on Edgar Chani and Habib Habibou and going, oh well, maybe we'll score. Anthony and Nonto and people like that, they're good,
really good, yeah,
really, really good attack. They'd be in pretty much every team in this league.
Yeah.
And we have them on the bench because we're ace.
Yeah, so that leaves us in 3rd position then, 38 points, 2 points per game, as you mentioned, Michael, which is the crucial mark. And as we've said, Ipswich and Leicester just need to grow up now, don't they, and stop it.
It's an interesting shape at the top of the league because you do essentially have the people who've come down with a load of Premier League players, and then in Ipswich and West Brom, who are the other 2 up there, teams who are consistent, who've been put together and playing together for a while. So that's not fair because, like Moscow was saying, we've had to do this. We've had to do this really last minute, and we should just be allowed to go up.
Yeah, there is. That keeps going because Carrick said it again that Leeds are kind of there's a lot of Premier League quality in that squad and a lot of Premier League players. But I mean, Rodon wasn't. It's not like we kept Rodon. We've loaned him and had to work out what he is. And then Strauch and Meslier at the end of last season, you wouldn't have looked at them and gone stars of the Premier League. And then Peru has never played in the Premier League, bought him from Swansea. And then I think the Sheffield Wednesday game, I did some mathematics, which is never a good starting point, but at how many top flight minutes Somerville, Rutter, and who else was in the team? That Nyonto had actually played. And they're really inexperienced. Somerville had most of Somerville's top flight, well, most of his experience was playing as a 16-year-old in Eredivisie 2 and then 1. And then coming to us at 18. So there were, I mean, that's essentially neither here nor there when it comes to him being a 21-year-old player in the Championship. But they look at him and, oh, that guy's got Premier League quality. But he was only coming off the bench for us and showing flashes and moments. Playing every single game of a 46-game season is a very different thing. So the players have had to are stepping up. It's not that we've got a team like Leicester where it's Jamie Vardy and it's Harry Winks and players who are stepping down. I can't really think of anybody in our team who at the start of the season you'd think, yeah, they're definitely going to be too good for this division. They've all had to kind of start again and prove themselves. Byram, maybe. He's like proper Premier League.
It sort of is, but has been injured so much, it barely counts.
That's kind of joking.
But he just has that.
But he is of the quality of that.
He's just got that little bit of extra, hasn't he? That you don't see in a lot of players in this.
The little partnerships that are starting to form in the team as well. Now they're developing as well. Like you see the way that I thought James and Gray linked up really nicely on the right hand side today, and just the fact that Somerville and Rutter are kind of getting to know where each other are going to be, and it is coming together. It's
ruddy bloody nice, isn't it? I just need to address a comment that Jim sent in where I just mentioned that wins get you promotion. What I mean is that
it's true,
which is great, which is genuinely
finishing top of the league is usually if you think finishing the top 2.
Come to me if you need any more.
You've got
advice,
a third option,
any more life. But what I meant was as opposed to draws, so you could see the situations like at Rotherham where you just chucked everyone on to try and get the win. Is that I think it was even one. I'm channeling Warnock now and saying it was. Warnock who advocated for going for wins because wins will get you promoted versus draws. Draws is what kills promotion.
That famously attacking-minded manager.
But he was always prone to sticking on one of his boys, wasn't he? Any final thoughts then as we wrap this one up? It was nice to see Johnny Howson again. That was mentioned.
I thought he was decent actually.
He's a good player. He's always been a good player.
Playing a bit deeper than he used to for us, wasn't he? He's sort of dropped.
He's 35.
I know he's dropped back and he's just dictating things.
Carl Shutt ended up as a sweeper.
Did he? Where was that?
Yeah, I think Kidderminster he was player manager. So he picked himself as sweeper.
He's still working in a travel agents in in Meadowhall?
Hope so, for his sake, if he's still in work.
Yeah, the industry has very much moved online, though, in recent years, so let's just hope he's still in gainful employment.
Maybe he's got more of like a managerial role. He's worked himself up to overseeing
trips to Barcelona he's in charge of now, that's what it is.
Maybe it could be, I suppose, what's the equivalent of a sweeper if you're working at a travel agency? So that's something for us all to think about later.
There's your homework. Right, we will wrap it up there and just say this forthcoming week, we're going to be in with Phil on Monday to do the usual stuff there. We are then heading off on a train to London to
find fortune.
Yeah, try and find our fortune. If we don't come back, we've found it. No, we're going
I'm happy to make it as a model down there.
I've
got some experience now, haven't I? I'm just going to go knock on the doors of some of the big agencies.
We'll borrow some of Pat Bamford's peroxide.
So yeah, we're at the
bleach my head.
Don't bleach your head. You can see very clearly.
It's a bit of paint.
Yes, we're going to the FSA Awards on Monday, so wish us luck with that. Thank you if you voted for us in that the Club Podcast of the Year category. Hopefully we'll bring home the bacon, which means we won't be doing anything on Tuesday because we'll probably be a mess and then on a train home. But we'll pick it all up.
So propaganda a day late.
A day late, like Wednesday or whatever. But yeah, if you're a TSB Plus member, get on, give us your scores out of 10 for the players and whatnot. Let us know what you thought of it, and we'll catch you next week. See you in a bit.
The Match Ball.